As stated in 2021 by Harvard Medical School Associate Professor Dr. Vera Novak, the brain is dependent on sugar as its main fuel. It cannot function without it. If sugar is so necessary for the brain to simply function, why might I stand in front of you today asking that we take steps to remove sugar from all grade level schools? While a moderate amount of glucose is necessary for the brain to function, it has been proven that sugar in high amounts has harmful effects on the brain, learning, and brain development. Because of the detrimental effects sugar can inflict on young brains, sugar needs to be removed from grade level schools and in availability to grade level students. If sugar has been proven to have these harmful effects on an individual's learning ability through its impacts on memory and attention, how can we allow institutions that are dedicated to teaching young students provide sugary snacks and drinks and availability to them throughout their school day? While it may not affect you currently, it does affect any younger siblings or younger family members you have in grade level schools, and someday future children you have. After extensive research, I will be discussing the problem sugar causes in the classroom, how sugar has a harmful impact on memory, and the steps we can begin to take this to avoid these detrimental effects. Now, let's move into the problem that sugar causes in the classroom. Scott Edwards, in a Harvard Mahoney Neuroscience Institute article from 2016, explains that high blood glucose levels can affect the brain's functional connectivity, which links brain regions that share functional properties and brain matter, which can lead to cognitive difficulties. High amounts of sugar in a student's diet can really impair the connectivity between different regions in the brain. And to encode one single memory, it takes 3 different regions of the brain. If the connectivity in a student's brain is impaired, it gets very difficult for them to encode memories and thus makes it harder for them to learn. High sugar in their blood can also lead to a sugar spike followed by a sugar crash. Now, the spike can lead to high fidgeting and increased hyperactivity, as well as extreme amounts of energy with nowhere for them to distribute it as they sit in class. Their attention span becomes extremely short, and they can no longer listen to what the teacher is saying. Following that spike is that crash, and this crash often leaves students groggy and tired beyond the ability to focus. The offering of these sugary drinks and snacks throughout school allows students to keep pumping sugar into their blood, raising their blood level, and decreasing the effectiveness of their brain connectivity and their ability to focus in class. Now, you may be wondering how sugar causes issues with learning through its impact on memory. In an article from Medical and Life Science News in 2019, Dr. Sanchari Sanaduda explains how important the hippocampus is to learning, long-term memory, and memory retrieval. Without proper hippocampal functioning, learning can be extremely difficult for students. Research is currently being conducted at the University of Southern California under the direction of Emily Noble, an assistant professor at the University of Georgia. This research is being done on juvenile rats and the effects of sugar on their hippocampus. Quoting Emily Noble on the results of the experiment in an article from UGA Today from 2021, written by Cal Powell, we found that rats that consumed sugar in early life had an impaired capacity to remember that an object was used in a specific task. This task was able to be done by the rats that were not given sugar. The sugar impaired the proper functioning of the hippocampus in these rats, causing issues with their memory. Now, the effect that sugar had on the rat's memory is comparable to the effect it would have on a human's, as a human's brain is similar to a rat's in connectivity and structure. The presence of high sugar in a young student's diet can poorly affect the ability for the hippocampus to properly function and thus make it more difficult for them to encode memories and retrieve those memories. From the same experiment led by Emily Noble, it was also found that sugar in a diet increased the presence of 2 bacteria species in the gut. The heightened presence of these bacteria species in the gut not only impaired hippocampal activity, but impaired brain-wide functions, or hippocampal independent activities. As explained in an article by Emily Noble from 2021 in Translocational Psychiatry, sugar in the diet of a young child can impair hippocampal function greatly, especially as their brain is in a very high state of rapid development. Because their development levels are extremely high compared to that of an adult, we need to start removing sugar from the diets beginning in these young grade level schools. So now you may be wondering, how can we begin to make a difference? While the Healthy Hunger Free Act of 2010 does provide schools with funding for healthier food options under the regulation of the USDA, According to data found in 2023 by Michael Benson for Vending Locator, approximately 43% of elementary schools have at least one vending machine. Approximately 74% of middle schools have at least one vending machine. And approximately 98% of high schools have at least one vending machine. So while these students are given healthier options in the school cafeterias for breakfast and lunches, these vending machines are still offering the option for high sugar snacks and drinks at any point throughout their school day and as often as they would like. So the first step we can begin to take to solve this is replace the snacks that are in these vending machines with healthier and lower sugar options. The second way we can begin to solve this problem is with the teachers. Not all teachers do this, but there are some who offer small candies and small sugary snacks as rewards throughout the classroom. And these teachers can switch to healthier options that are lower in sugar or non-edible items completely. The third way we can begin to solve this problem is with the parents and in the homes of these children. When these children are home, these parents can offer them well-balanced diets, as well as suggest alternative snacks to those high sugar snacks that they're gonna wanna grab out of the cabinets. Today, I discussed the problem that sugar causes in the classroom, the effect it has on the memory, why this is making it difficult for students to learn, and how we can begin to take steps to improve the students' diet and help them ease their learning. Even if you are not on a PTA board and do not have a child or a young family member or sibling in these grade level schools, you can become aware of how you eat. Someday you may be a parent, and how a parent eats drastically impacts the student's learning. How well a child eats impacts how well they learn, and how well a child eats starts with how well the parent eats. Thank you.